the good of the order is if we have commissioner comments. Is that what that's going on?
Bonnie, can you speak up?
I was just asking about commissioner comments. Is that going under the H for the good of the order?
Yes.
Okay, aye. Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, approval of minutes as presented.
I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes as presented.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carried.
Gotta let me vote. It was an aye.
Consider approval of vouchers as presented.
Well, I, as the one that is with Bonnie, have read the voucher list, and I make a motion that we approve the vouchers as presented.
I will second with a question. I think I have two questions. The Pacific County Fire District number 1 check, is that what don't we have to pay them something every year? What was that for?
It's unclear that we have to pay them. They ask us to pay them, and we have traditionally complied with that. And I think it was what, $300?
$395, something
Yeah,
like that?
$395. We feel-
$395.90.
We feel like it's a good deal. And
Oh,
it
so
teamed up
that
with
is
them.
what that
Yeah.
payment reflects? Okay, and then I just have another question here on paychecks. And I just want to bring it up now because I see that I'm in there. I haven't seen the check yet. I have some questions on some of my paychecks. So I haven't cashed any checks since May, I believe. Maybe I cashed one that was fine. So specifically, in May, it seems as if we met only once, which makes sense. I mean, you know, that's our current salary. But there are 4 per diem rates being paid to us.
Well, let's throw that to our financial officer. If you want to shoot an email to me, then I will forward that on to her, and you will get to the bottom.
Yeah, I actually have copies here of
Okay, if you
the
wanna-
2.
if you wanna leave 'em.
And then I see a couple of times federal withholding isn't there, the CARES, Washington CARES hasn't been deducted, so I'm, you know, I just want them to be right. That's why I haven't checked.
From May, yeah, I don't know, I think, well,
Yep.
let's just
Yeah.
circle up and get to the bottom. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
it
off
was
the top of my
May,
head.
June, July. One of them was good. I'm sorry, I can't remember if it was June or July. It was not a problem, but they were in a batch when I received them. They were mailed to me. So then I'm August, and August I haven't seen the check.
Okay, I think August for both you and Bill was May, so it should be there today, 2 weeks, last week.
Okay.
Okay,
So I believe, Chair, you had a motion?
Yes.
Right, okay, I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. Okay, unfinished business. 2024 budget timeline, we each have a copy of 2024 proposed budget.
Yep.
So the chair, I can give us the timeline. So the ad was first ran last Wednesday. It will run again this upcoming Wednesday. And then there's a special meeting. The chair has asked me to call a special meeting on the 2nd of October at 11 for a public hearing as the primary component of that special meeting. The agenda has not been prepared yet. In case something else comes up, we can include that in that meeting as well. And then the public will have an opportunity to comment. We'll go through a detailed deep dive into the 2024 preliminary budget. And then the public can take a look and can offer comments, suggestions, and then we'll leave the no action to be taken during the budgetary hearing. But thereafter, you guys may take action in that hearing, or in that meeting, or you may call a meeting for another day, with the goal of getting this to the county by the 17th.
Of November.
No, of October. We'd like to get it to the county by the 17th of October.
I'm leaving, what, the 6th, I believe it is, October 6th. That's next Friday, not this coming Friday, but the following Friday. And I'll be gone for 9 days. I return on the 14th.
Still good?
Yeah.
So you guys have some latitude and you know, there's some opportunities. If, you know, some years you guys have felt as though the budget was in pretty good shape and with minor tweaks you could pass it later that day. Some years you've asked staff to come back and do some additional changes and run some additional stuff. So, you know, it's happened both ways, but we just want to give ourselves enough time to get things to the county.
Well, I wanted you to know that I'd be gone that,
Okay.
you know.
So you're the 6th through the 14th?
Yeah.
So, the fact that we don't have our comprehensive plan, with goals and all for the next 5-year period of time, it seems difficult to, look at a budget completely without knowing what it is we're gonna try to achieve next year, what the court is gonna try to achieve next year.
Well, the operational goals are pretty clear and
Standard.
obvious, right? Those are standard. The capital improvement component would definitely be a component that will require some forward looking. So there'll be opportunities to do that
At that October 2nd meeting.
at that October 2nd and subsequent meetings. So this spending plan goes into effect January 1. So theoretically, not a dime is spent for 2024 until January 1. And so really, you have up until 12/31 to get the capital improvement component put together. The revenues really aren't going to change. You know, that's going to be pretty static.
How do you suggest that we do that capital improvement plan without the 5-year plan?
Well, like I said before, we can update the existing one with capital improvements for 2024. And then we can do, once we have the new commissioner in place for the next 6 years, then we can take a look at doing a long-term visioning process with the community and the board and stakeholders. That's how we historically do it.
Yeah. Okay,
How's our wash pads doing on, where's that at in the budget?
It's not.
Oh.
The wash pads are not in the, but as far as income.
Like
yeah,
I see
well,
load hoist and
yeah,
all out
it's,
operations
well,
and all that.
it would be in haul out. So, but because we noticed a public meeting or a hearing for the budget, we really can't go through the budget today. We've got to wait for that public hearing. Just because there might be people who read that notice and decided they would come on the 2nd instead of today. But yeah,
I'll hold my question.
it's in haul.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a prudent choice to hold off till the 2nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really the only way.
okay. All right, new business. Consider approval of sale of Port owned real property consisting of 4 lots zoned R3 adjacent to 256th Place and 103 in Ocean Park. They're not less than 135,000 for all lots.
Well, I do have a question about the real estate sales of these 3 properties that are on the agenda. When were they designated surplus?
Because they're part of our, and maybe I should start, and then I would have already answered this question.
Sure.
Because they're part of our
Jay,
IDD
I'm sorry.
district.
Would you, if you could just move 3 feet away from them, you'd probably be 6 feet. Maybe you could take your mask off so we could hear you.
So listen, I'd prefer to keep my mask on. Because they are part of our IDD district, they're not required to be declared surplus. nor are they required to be removed from a comprehensive plan, which they're not part of anyway. These guys weren't part of the comprehensive plan. So they're not encumbered by RCW 53 as far as the sales. So let me start with number one here. Number one are the 4 lots that are adjacent to the post office on 256. Now, a little history, those were purchased to expand in concert with the school district to expand the existing park. And then at that time, the school district was going to give us the park. And we were gonna abate the roadway between. We did a workshop with the county, and the county was in favor of abating the roadway, and we did extensive community work, and we had a lot of positive response. Later on, during the negotiations, the school district wanted $600,000 for the park. That would have triggered all sorts of other things for us. We were only taking the park because when the school district originally didn't want to pay for their part of the roadway abrogation, because the county charges for those, as they should. They charge for those square footage. They didn't want to pay for theirs, and so they wanted it to all go to us. And in order for it to all go to us, we'd have to own both sides. So at that point, we went into kind of a holding pattern as that pushed us outside of the grant cycle for park improvements. Later on, it became clear that the long-term goal of the school district is probably not keeping Ocean Park School. And the county also passed a limitation on transient visitor accommodations, which made the R3 properties, the resort properties, much more valuable than our acquisition price. So I think we're into these for 19, and then there were some other funds that were teamed in from a grant that we got, and now they're worth in excess of 130. We had a broker's opinion of value. They're worth in excess of 130. It seems like a good time to test the market with those and take that off. We've improved the lots. We've added water, and so.
Well, it'd be nice to see somebody buy that and actually
Yeah.
put some sort of, resort in there, some sort of lodging,
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic economic development opportunity, and I think it's really good for the community, and it's good for us, and good for our citizens.
So what broker are we working with
We're not working with a broker on this.
to get the appraisal? You just said a broker.
Yeah, we had a
priced
broker's
it.
opinion of value
Opinion.
about a year ago,
Oh,
and I believe that was Doug Knutson on those properties.
Nick?
a question from our treasurer.
I used to work in the assessor's office for 23 years, and a lot of times people, when they get ready to sell something, they get a fee appraisal done. Has the port considered getting a fee appraisal? Because when you sell something, that's kind of the price of the fee appraisals in there. You might get a more truer value of what things are going for than just a broker's opinion.
Well, I think.
It's just a thought. I just throwing it out there.
Yeah, so if with this particular motion, it basically sets a floor on this, and as it sits right now, we will make if we sell it at the floor here, we will make 100 and yes, yeah, exactly.
So when a
116.
person goes to borrow money, the banks like to see a fee appraisal, not just what the broker says it's worth, but they like to see a fee appraisal when they're loaning money.
It's my guess this will probably be a cash offer for any sort of developer. I would say this is a cash offer. I think it's a winner for us, and certainly a winner for.
Somebody's gonna build a resort, they're not gonna be going to the bank to buy the property.
Not with one, not the property. They won't start to burn there.
I'm a little concerned that there's already a name being thrown out there that's interested in purchasing this property. I'm not going to name that name, but my concern is that it hasn't even yet gone onto the market, and I don't think that it is good practice, or maybe even allowed to sell direct without it going onto the public market, correct?
Well, we will definitely publish it in the paper, and so it will definitely be publicly marketed. So it will be noticed publicly, and my hope is that, here's the deal, each one of these properties have individuals that have, over the past 3 years, expressed interest. So if we decide that we're not going to sell property when someone has in the past expressed interest, then I think we're gonna be holding on to a lot of property and missing out on
That's not what I'm
opportunities.
suggesting, but
No.
it
No.
sounds a little bit more like done deals and.
No, there's
I
no-
How
just-
can you sell taxpayer-owned property without getting a proper opinion and going through the proper procedure according to RCW 5308090? You already got, it sounds like you already got a sale
No, there's
We're
no,
gonna-
there's no
that we
sale
will be
already.
privy to.
We're considering making a motion to put it up for sale. Once
Yeah,
it goes on
how
the
could
free
you do that
market,
without
you
finding
could-
a
you could
value
bid on-
of it?
you could
Jay's
buy it,
gonna
you
make
could
the
buy it,
deal?
You could buy it, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be open to the public for anybody to buy it.
To bid on it?
Yeah.
So you're gonna go through a bidding process?
Well, it's an offer. I mean, you have a buyer's real estate agent, you have a seller's real estate agent.
So you're gonna
So the
get an
buyer
opinion
can-
of value and then you're gonna post it in the paper?
Well, he's gonna.
Is that correct?
I believe.
We've already gotten an opinion of value, but we will.
From
post-
whom?
We will
A
post-
qualified appraiser
Okay.
or a
We're
realtor?
gonna stop, please.
Okay,
Yes, the answer is yes.
But to back up just a little bit.
Okay.
We've already discussed
Do I have a
in
motion?
previous meetings that, that it would be any property we sell would be listed with a bona fide real estate agent.
Absolutely.
We've
Yep.
already decided that, so that's not happening. I had a question about it, but we all agreed that before. So that it will be listed with an agent
Okay,
if it is to be sold.
thank you.
Before we do a motion on this, I would like to spend a little bit more time with the RCW 53, just to make sure that in fact some of the questions regarding surplus and all that type of stuff are in correction. I'd like to suggest that,
How well are you versed in that?
We're exempt from it because it's industrial development.
I just want to
Yeah.
verify it. So we have this October 2nd meeting coming up that would give a little bit of time just to be able to get real clear so we can present to the
Well,
public.
if we're
Here's
exempt from
clear.
it, then we're
Yeah,
exempt.
we're exempt from it.
This
Yeah,
has
but
nothing
I
to
Let's just
do
move
I
it
want to
with us.
verify that.
We were
No.
also exempt from needing the ecology permit, and that turned out to be wrong, so
I-
I'm not sure I'd follow directions.
I'm not prepared to vote on this until I've had a little more time to do some, this just came this morning, so I haven't had very much time to do some research. And I'd just like to have better research, and October 2nd isn't that far away. If we could add it to that day, I would, regarding all of the purchases.
I don't,
So that we're
I
clear.
don't see a reason why we need to postpone this.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't either.
if we, if we follow the rules and the law.
Yeah, nothing's gonna close by October 2nd.
I'm not suggesting that, I'm just saying, I just wanna make sure that that
Nothing's
the
gonna close
RCW is
October 2nd.
correct. I'm not just taking verbal, information any longer. I did that for a year and that wasn't right.
So
I
you
make a
just
motion
found
to
out
do-
about this sale this morning, Bonnie? Do you not know that this was gonna happen
The
today?
sale of the port-owned property.
As a commissioner, you weren't
The
included?
4 lots are.
In this decision?
The 256th place and 103rd, Ocean Park, Washington, for not less than $135,000 total for all lots.
I second it. All in favor? Aye.
You need to ask
Carried.
opposed. It needs to be on the record and I'm opposed.
You are being recorded, so it is on the record.
Okay, number 2, consider approval of sale of port-owned property consisting of 2 commercial lots at 513 Bay Avenue in Ocean Park for not less than $300,000. Total for both lots. Current occupants have a 1-year remaining lease. Existing lease may remain in place and transferred to any eventual buyer for those properties.
So, just to clarify where this is basically where Barbie Queen and the empty lot next to it.
Yep.
So that's the piece of ground. Is it two separate lots?
Yes.
They're two separate, okay, so it would be two sales, basically, and people could buy them both.
It's one address.
Oh, okay, but it's into two lots. Currently, I don't believe that they are open, are leasing, so does
They-
that
they
have
have-
any effect?
No, they haven't. They've been open.
Okay, well, they made a statement in Facebook that they were closing permanently.
Yeah. and I
When was
called
that?
Dave. It was a while back.
Maybe-
that
Called
Maybe
Dave.
months
two,
ago?
Yeah.
no, 2 or 3
weeks
weeks
ago.
ago.
Yeah, they've been open consistently. So they missed a day, but they've been fairly consistent.
Huh.
They have a 4-day-a-week cleaning.
So,
What did we pay for that property?
276.
76. $24,000 probably.
Yeah, 24,000 plus the lease rents over the years, and then in addition to that, interest rates have gone up now, and so we've been able to benefit from our cash investments to the tune basically of what we were getting from the restaurant. And so now it's an opportunity for somebody to come in and have an investment property, or to look down the line and redevelop. I think we've had some success in the community teaming up with developers when it came for the pharmacy and clinic rebuild. And so it would be nice long-term to see that continue. But I think the port succeeded in saving some jobs, keeping an eatery during a time when there wasn't an eatery in Ocean Park. And then now we have 2 more eateries in Ocean Park. And so, I think this is a good opportunity for us to bring some cash in and to hand this off to somebody who wants to invest and to build up our community.
Well, yeah, we bought it because they were gonna close it.
Yeah.
You know, they were leaving, they were retiring because they were tired.
what year was that?
Year before last.
21, I believe. Yeah.
This gentleman's
So
had
there's
his
a
hand up
question-
for quite some
We have a
time.
question from the public. They're here in
Why are you looking at me,
attendance.
Phil? He's got a question.
I'm sorry, I think the public needs
All
to
right.
have questions, I mean. Sir?
The first thing is, she rented a new place in Oregon City. So she had no idea ever coming back here. The second thing is, there's a hole in the bathroom floor that needs to be repaired. Somebody falls through there, the port owns the property, the port's gonna get sued. So somebody needs to go fix the floor.
Hole in the floor, we've talked for at least a year and a half about replacing those windows. There's lots of work that has been painting it. We spent a lot of time talking about painting it, but nothing's happened.
Fixing the floor is, somebody falls through there, you're looking at a lawsuit.
Of course.
Okay. That's my only comment.
And isn't he responsible for the maintenance on the building?
Yeah, but when they
Well,
don't keep up their.
That's what they do.
So they have them in charge.
Yeah.
But we're responsible for the structure of the building, which would be a whole.
That's why I'm bringing it to
Well,
the
they're
council's
Well, this is the
approval.
first I've ever heard
They're
of a hole in the
responsible.
floor in the bathroom. I mean, obviously, I am a business owner.
It was, the hole was in the floor when you guys bought the building.
I didn't know that.
I guess you didn't inspect the building.
I'm not a building inspector. I'm not a
Well-
home inspector.
So the commissioners didn't even go walk in and walk through it or anything?
So he should be.
So I'll make a motion that we approve, or that we, I'll make a motion that we put the property for sale that is 2 commercial lots on 1513 Bay Avenue in Ocean Park, Washington, for not less than $300,000 for both lots. And the current remains in place.
And again, I just want to verify that the RCW is correct. I want to spend some time with it before voting. I am in favor of selling them, I just want to make sure that we haven't missed something. So therefore, I'm not prepared to vote at this time.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Number 3, consider approval of sale of port-owned real property consisting of 2 commercial lots at 2708 Sandbridge, Ocean Park, Washington, for not less than $90,000.
And the size of these lots, Jay?
I believe they're 5,000 each, so it's 10,000 total.
Are they,
Yeah.
are they both on the bay, or is this that property that's one here and one on the other side of Sandridge? They're both on the bay.
They're both on the bay side of Sandridge, but I wouldn't describe them as on the bay because you start another series of
Yes.
multiple properties.
Okay.
Yeah, so, Mr. Chairman, may I give some background on this?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are some properties that we bought to try to keep into shellfish. I'll to keep in shellfish use. And there have been over the years 3 parties that have been interested in keeping it in shellfish use. The plan, I would pass those names along to whomever we listed with, and then that would go in a public forum. We are into this for $51,000, and so getting 90 for these 2 would be a win for the port, and I think a win for any shellfish company that gets.
And so is this abutting the $630,000 property?
It's across 271st, so there's a roadway between them. The lessee that we have in the 271st property was not interested in leasing this, but at current lease rates for fairground, it would take us like 12,000 years to make this money. So this is a good deal.
Yeah.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve for the sale of the port-owned real property consisting of 2 commercial lots at 27008 Sandridge Road, Washington, not less than $90,000.
Second.
And again,
All in favor?
I would hold my vote until I've done the research on the RCW.
Motion carried. All right, number 4. Consider approval of language incentive pay for employees who become proficient in Spanish. $1 per hour on passing the language proficiency test. Language and access.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, what is this program? It's an app that
Yeah,
they
so
sign into?
right now what we're gonna do is Duolingo not only has an app, but they also have a test that has sort of an accepted proficiency score. And so that's what we're leaning to is Duolingo. But we come into numerous situations daily where increased language proficiency in Spanish will be a benefit both to port personnel, safety of the users and the workers, and I think all concerned. I just think it's a winner, but I thought an incentive program would be good because a lot of other municipalities have done that as well. So this language improvement program idea came from Seattle actually, the one that I sort of, as I looked through several of them, and I talked to the team already, and everybody seems interested. We'll see as things move forward, but I'll keep you guys updated as we sort of see the progress of it.
How do our guys think about this? Or what do they think about it?
No, they're very excited. Yeah, they think it's a great idea.
So they would be doing the app, the lessons on their own time, but we'd be providing them the
Exactly.
service?
And so the app is really designed for basically a minimum of say 10 minutes a day, and then if you wanted to be a super person, you could go with 20 minutes a day. Thank you. You can go to 20 minutes a day. If somebody put in an hour a day, it is believed they could get proficiency within 6 months.
And so then what is the total kind of estimated cost? There's a cost for the program, obviously, and then.
Well, actually, the app is free, so the app part is free. But let's say everybody was able to achieve, the whole team was able to achieve proficiency within within, let's say 6 months, everybody just went after it. So this would be sort of our max exposure, would be about $6,000 this year, our max exposure.
For this year?
For this year.
For the
Next
end of
year-
this- They probably won't.
No,
be
oh,
through
sorry,
with
for
this year.
2024,
Yeah,
thank you,
okay.
sorry. I'm already at 2024.
Yeah.
But yeah, for 2024, it will be $6,000. And then for 2025, assuming everybody stayed, and we had no attrition, not necessarily what would happen, but let's just say that, then it would be around 12,000. And that would be the max, because it's hourly, right?
And that's having
That would be all of the team proficient. But I would argue, it's highly unlikely everybody, we haven't ever had a program where everybody did it, but I think it's important to go ahead and look at that maximum exposure, just for a worksheet. But I would argue that that is an investment in safety,
It's also in keeping our employees, being able to offer some benefits. I'm all for supporting our employees. I think they have hard jobs, and if we can do something like this, it's not a tremendous cost. I think that it's something to really consider.
Yeah, our hope is that we put this out there and we gauge the participation and take a look at future incentive and retention programs sometime in 2024 and start to explore that in time for budgeting in 2024.
Yeah, it could be that just the head, the lead person takes advantage of it to begin with, and then it grows from there. Your lead,
Would that be like the harbor master?
Young guy.
Who's our harbor master?
Yeah, currently our harbor master is Richard. I don't know
think
if he
Richard
will be,
No.
but
Okay.
that's not really his role.
No.
Where I think we'd see the greatest sort of safety advantages is certainly when we're out in the field working with the other teams of workers, or we're doing haul outs, or we're at the cranes. If you can imagine safety instructions and something that's really critical. Boats don't stop on a dime, so you've got to be able to communicate well. And so, I think this, look, it's my hope that this is something everybody wants to do.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve the language incentive pay LIP for employees who become proficient in Spanish. That would include $1 an hour upon passing approved language proficiency test. Language learning app access will be provided by Port for all districts.
I'll second that, but I wonder, do we want to put in here for, that it's not, it kind of reads as it's gonna be a requirement of the employees to take this, that maybe we, put it as a, on a volunteer basis, or on a, the
Well, I think
opportunity.
the incentive part,
Okay, all right.
incentive part. puts it
Just wanted to
somewhere.
ask that, yeah. I'll second it, I think it's, a
All in
good
favor?
idea.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. All right, executive director report.
Well, as you can tell when you guys pull in, we've been busy trying to make this place storm-proof. We're going to be doing a test of our 65 kilowatt generator later this week, and we're gonna announce it. We'll put it on the board, and then we're going to turn on everything and go through it and make sure that everything works at the same time. That's the advantage of a 65 kilowatt generator. So we're excited about that. Budget has been taking up a fair amount of our time, and hopefully we'll be able to make the changes that make you guys comfortable with the 2024 budget. I hope you like the assumptions that were put in there. And so coming into the second, I'm looking forward to answering a lot of your questions and having our financial officer there, and we will be doing stuff in real time to shake things up the way you guys want.
So, how is the audit, the state audit underway?
It is not yet.
When is that?
We don't know yet. So we're much soon. Our
Okay.
expectation is it'll happen pretty soon.
Yeah, because the last I heard that it would be the last half of September. Geez, it's already the 25th.
I know, I think we heard that, that those things have been getting stacked up and
Getting
pushed back a
stacked
little
up.
bit. But I think it's important to remember that we had 4 years of audit 1 year ago. So we only, you know, so
Yeah.
that's the thing, so.
Well, they want to do it, so it's just
Yeah,
a matter, I
exactly.
just was wondering where we are. And I understand that you submitted a permit application, resubmitted the permit application for the general boatyard?
We've been working
Permits.
constructively with the Department of Health.
Okay, well, that's not an answer. I mean, you either submitted an
Well, I
application
thought we
or you
didn't have to
didn't.
be a boatyard until our operations was more,
We
like,
don't.
more than 50%.
Well, I mean, it's not only that, it's about discharges and stuff, but we're gonna get into an area that will get us into potential litigation. But what expanding our boatyard general permit will do for us is allow us to discharge stormwater, clean stormwater from clean pads. It will allow us to expand out of just 2 so that we can have some additional work areas, because what we found is there's obviously been some holdups with South Bend getting back online, and we have a huge backlog of people that want to get out. And it was our belief that we could stay with just two bays and just keep things rolling with South Bend coming back online. But for whatever reason, and I'm not involved in that at all, South Bend has been held up. So
And this whole, the permit for the stormwater is different than the whole drainage system that we have behind the washout basin?
it involves that, and so we're taking advantage of that.
Okay.
So what happens is, we're able to, by expanding to the bigger boatyard general permit, we allow ourselves to discharge stormwater off of clean pads, and as long as it meets certain test criteria, and we have to test 5 months a year. But our filtration system is marvelous. We have been, in fact, stand by, yeah, stand by. I've got, this is a little old, but I'll show you this test. It's really fun. So this water was black, and we've been experimenting with different flocculants and coagulants to drop everything out, and also takes out the any metal content that might be in there as well. Now this is for our wastewater, but for our stormwater, what we're looking at is is utilizing some crushed oyster shell, which is similar to what they're using over in Astoria for their closed loop system, because they actually put it through whole oyster shells, but we're going to do it with some crushed oyster shell and take some. Now these are old, so they're a little bit cloudy, but I'll tell you, it just happens like that when you drop the flock and the coagulant in, drop all that stuff out, and then we're able to vacuum that stuff out and process our wastewater much faster for recirculation in our tank system. So our closed loop system is doing great. Our wastewater system is going to allow us to discharge wastewater, infiltrate stormwater, infiltrate it using the infrastructure that we put in a few years ago, and at our hydrologist and engineers, Harry Udi's behest, and then refresh the aquifer. And that's really the best way to do it, rather than keeping a bunch of water for a long period of time and waiting for something calamitous to happen. You know, it makes a lot more sense to do that.
So this process and the testing and the, I don't want to say redesign, but I can't think of a better word than that, but the implementation of this, does it require an actual engineer printout or layout or a schematic? And have we made arrangements to work with an engineer? Because I know it seems that so many things do require that engineering final.
The hydrology, so the infiltration was engineered in, I want to say 2021 or 2019 or something, I can't recall.
This additional part.
Yeah, the additional part. So we've been working with a supplier who designs the filtration system out of Florida, and I can't remember, so it's a US-made process, and they've been teaming up with our guys in the installation.
And that was, so the stormwater retention that we have over there, that was designed for the square footage of our whole area, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So when we put the pads in, that didn't change anything for the engineering as far as volume of water.
Oh, actually, the thing actually is engineered for rooftops, so for covered
So it's-
facilities.
So because we put a concrete pad on there,
We
it
catch
didn't
it.
change the
Yeah.
amount of water that we're
Right,
catching.
I was talking more about the requirements from the different agencies about having, an engineer's plan on file that they can see. We just make sure that we
Yeah,
hit all of those.
I think we're talking about the same thing, so that was followed years ago. The testing, the discussion that we've been having is really about the testing and the side of the testing, and I think we got all that handled, and, yeah, as these things work themselves out, and we make changes to our operations if we have to, I don't know that we have to, but, you know, we keep that open, we'll keep you guys apprised. But our team are working very closely with the manufacturers and making some enhancements, to our system. So but it's just like anything, just like the ice facility and stuff, it's an evolving process, you know. The original design that we had for this was novel, right? This was the first time, but we teamed up with the engineer from North Star. And as it evolved, over time, you know, with the goal of being the most dependable ice machine on the West Coast, we continue to, which is proven. It's demonstrably proven. We've literally never missed a delivery. So when we did that, that was our target the whole time. And similarly with this, what we want to do is have the cleanest stormwater and the best functioning recirculation closed loop system that we can.
Yeah, and we're
So-
still going for a clean water port, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so our team will be taking a field trip to a couple ports to look at clean water systems in the coming weeks. Now that we're into the rain system, we can see how spring water works in other ports and stuff like that. So we'll be doing that.
So, have you received the final, report from, give me a moment, L&I Marine Safety about our boat lift? There was a, you know.
Yeah, we
there was
haven't received the final one in the
Okay.
mail, but I signed one several weeks ago that said everything was fine. And I think the quote from the L&I person was, whoever called this in didn't know what they were looking at.
Well,
No, but I mean, the public's right to call stuff in, but
yeah,
he also said that we have some of the best maintained cranes on the West Coast.
great, and so we'll be able to see that report. You know,
As soon as it comes in, we
Yeah,
have-
exactly,
yeah.
I understand, it'll take a
But
while.
I signed a copy that, absolutely,
Oh.
yeah.
Can you? Because it's still kind of dead.
I know, the person who was supposed to do it originally didn't, so they got hijacked.
There's nothing on there that we'll get to. So, I've got a question for you, Jay, and just a fast one. So I've heard that, you know, there's been talk about you mentioning that some of our services that people were expecting to come, they had a schedule or whatever, that you were told that, well, it can't happen, and if you have a problem with that, ask Chuck. And in fact, I think that this has also been said to an agency about Ask Chuck. Obviously, there's no elephant in the room here. We're talking about Chuck Nicola, who is running for commissioner, who has been vocal about things that he doesn't understand and doesn't think are good. So I would ask as a commissioner that maybe you try to refrain from making, as frustrated as you may be in circumstances, I understand, everybody gets, you know, but maybe I think that our public and our customers deserve better.
I gotta say, I probably have gotten more votes because of that comments coming from this area than anything else. It's just unbelievable amount of phone calls saying, I'm voting for you, I'm tired of that kind of bullshit going on. And the other thing I should comment on, Jay talked about clean runoff from stormwater. You got a great big problem in this parking lot with stormwater, big plume of it going right out into the bay every time it rains because you don't have proper grading procedures for the parking lot. So all the fines are running off into, let's see, if you go out there and after a heavy rain, you can see a great big plume of silt and fines going out there. You can solve that by a little bit of grading problem.
There's no comment, but it's been duly noted.
The only comment I have is I toured the new campground that's going in, the old Wildwood campground.
Oh, down off of Sanders?
Yep. And, pretty cool facility, and those guys would like to partner up with some agency to put a trail in from the campground into Long Beach. There's already a public right-of-way, and I told them that Jay would be the person to talk to. They got to cross a canal, so I had a phone call with Jay, and Jay said, they want to build a bridge.
Yeah.
But Jay said, what about a floating dock segment? I know, that'd be just perfect. So they're gonna do so anyways, that's kind of, but they're gonna do a soft opening in November and then fully open in December. So it's been about 3.5 hours down there with them. So they're doing a good job. They're reestablishing all the wetlands and, all that kind of stuff, so it's pretty cool.
Good.
It's gonna be interesting to see how their
Bill,
business model works.
a bridge across that drainage could be a problem for maintenance.
Pardon me?
A bridge across that drainage could be a problem for maintenance.
Thank you for your comment. Appreciate
And
it.
Fish and Wildlife.
Yeah.
All right.
Bill, you brought up paths, and it makes me think about the beach to bay path. Is that money separated from the port's money, or where is the money remaining for that? That seemed to have somehow gotten turned to the port, or where did that happen? How did that go? Where are we with the beach to bay?
Yeah, the port contributed money to the Beach to Bay Trail last segment. But there are no funds remaining for the Beach to Bay
Oh,
Trail.
I thought there were. So
No,
I've been
no, no,
meaning
no.
to ask
No,
about that.
in fact, the segment before the last segment, so the one that goes in front of, in front of the food bank.
Yeah.
That one was in front of the chamber building.
Yeah,
right?
that's
the
the
night-
last.
The night building, that was the last one. That was actually done with some leftover funds, so it's a great story. So there were some leftover funds from the Department of Transportation, the State Department of Transportation, for their region.
Well, I
for
think the
maintenance
chamber
funds.
also had a grant that got that whole thing started
Well,
initially.
oh, yeah, you
The
guys
other
would,
end.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
with R.D. Williams was involved and stuff like
Yeah.
that, yeah. So that was earlier, that predates that, but for that segment right there, what did that were some State Department of Transportation, monies that were left over in their regional fund. And here's the interesting thing. So, they ended up winning an award for that segment of trail and for the entire project, teaming up with the port, for what a small investment into a rural community for multimodal pedestrian trail can do for a community. Because as you know, on that trail, you're more likely to see people walking and pushing a stroller, carrying groceries. One time I saw a dog with a bandana. Just walking. A blind guy who walks with his family sometimes. So rather than exclusively a tourism-related trail. And I'm not knocking tourism-related trails because there's a fantastic one in our district. But it's a different kind of trail with a different kind of socio-economic impact. And so anyway, the design team and the engineers and stuff won an award for that. And yeah, they're super proud of that and happy about that, and as we are. We would love to see that trail finished all the way, and we have plans all the way to the beach. We have plans with several iterations of plans. And so we'd love to talk about that in the upcoming capital improvement discussions, because it's pretty easy to move. we can move some capital improvement monies that way, and then we can look at what we can leverage that with. So, that'll be a great discussion at the next meeting.
Cool. And then will we be receiving, you know how we always got before the financial report copies?
Yes, so our financial officer will be here at the next meeting, and you guys will have, probably more financial copy than you.
Okay. You never have too much.
Miranda Reese with Pacific Seafood. I'm just curious, prior this year, we had an agenda item related to the sale of tidelands, and I'm just wondering where the commission and the director are on.
We're waiting for a survey to be done, right? Land survey, or underwater survey.
Yeah, so I think we're waiting for a survey of that parcel.
I'm not asking my question.
And I guess I didn't understand your question. We're waiting for the survey to be able to decide to put it on the market.
Typically, you wait for the rest of the question to be answered, or asked before you start answering.
I'm sorry,
All right,
We'll, because I don't recall us making a decision that we were going to put it on the market. It was,
we passed the resolution on that.
No, you didn't.
no.
It was
never
tabled for a later
done.
meeting.
We talked about it, but then we never came back and actually passed the resolution.
I'll do some research on it.
Okay, check, because I thought we
Yeah.
passed the resolution.
Yeah, I'll research.
Okay.
He doesn't know what's going on.
All right, no further business. I will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you all for coming.
yes, thank you.
Can we get a copy of the preliminary budget?
Oh, I forgot to ask, were there any written comments? from
There
the
were
last
not, I'm
meeting?
sorry, I meant to tell you guys, there were not.
I couldn't find it on the budget. What is it for the
Oh, excellent.
storage
Thank you,
fees
Jay.
across the road?
Earlier than this morning. I
Per,
could've done some
per
of these.
vehicle or?
Oh,
car?
there's a whole range of it. I'll have to pull it. There's a whole range of different.
Well, because you don't have it on the budget here, I mean, this.
Well, it is, it's leases. It's
Huh?
under leases. It's under leases.
Leases?
Yeah. Yeah, those are ground leases. So anything, so here's the way lease excise works. Anything where people spend over $250, we have to pay state lease excise taxes. So it just goes under leases.
So they pay the lease then?
They pay fees, which the state attributes as
I
a
don't need to
lease.
sign that.
Not just one.
Right, it's like a month to month.
Okay.
Yeah. 12.84% as I recall, but I'd have to double check.
Okay, and then you have on rental fee for the boat trailer, $20 for 24 hours, but then it's, you're charging, $25 for a daily thing on the trailer. So shouldn't you pay another $5 on this rental port trailer a day?
I will have to research it. I don't know what you're asking right now off the top of my head. So we can take a look at that.
I mean, you know, because you got a barge sitting over there and the trailer's been sitting there for a couple of days, shouldn't be more than $20 a day?
Just a trailer.
Yeah,